You've been talking a lot today about trauma.
Yes.
And, how do we emerge from these times with some healing and hope? So just being with you today was like being immersed in healing and hope. But do you mind just sharing again just your journey and where you're at on your journey of health?
Where I come from a household full of brothers and sisters, and a lot of parents, a lot of things go on when you have a lot of brothers and sisters. So I was like a troublesome child, you say, like what we consider in our community a baby kid. And just never really, a lot of things that I was supposed to learn didn't really hit home until I learned the hard way, So moving forward, I got out of high school. I wasn't doing things that were legal in a sense, and I got caught with a firearm coming from Indiana. And I decided to use my father's farm as a platform to do community service, and I was inspired by what they were doing. I seen a lot of issues in our community that I could address by creating a company to show the next generation of what it looked like. So where I'm at now is trying to stop the baby kid from being the baby kid in a sense,
Yeah.
You ain't gotta find out the hard way. Sometimes you can find what we consider grace. Stop them from having to experience the hard parts before they change.
Right.
You can experience some grace in your life, and sometimes it's just someone passing by information and giving you an opportunity. And that's what happened to me. So where I'm at now is getting the next generation to understand what does the future look like, but before you figure out what it looks like, you must heal. Mm-hmm. And Ridall has given us, the city, hope for healing for so long that I think it's time to exemplify that and show what the next generation is going to do from what Ridall has done. Most businesses don't survive 5 years.
That's right.
For Ridall to be sustainable or regenerative, as we say, because Doc don't like that word, sustainable.
Yeah, tell the difference between
sustainable means to, uphold, to keep in the state. Regenerative means to constantly get better and better and better.
Yeah.
So we really want to basically regenerate all of this understanding, and make sure that the community truly benefits from the platform Ridall has laid. Like I said, most businesses don't sustain themselves over the first 5 years. For Ridall to be here for 13 years, it's like that's groundbreaking history, and we need to now know that we can't depend upon Ridall for everything, That's just like us being dependent upon, governmental aid or food stamps to provide for ourselves. We have to start beginning to build things for ourselves, and that's where, we're trying to get the next generation of farm bill done passed, and only 1.3% of farmers are black. There's a need, there's a demand for it. And it gives us hope because Ridall has done it so well, and they've survived through all the storms. And to be in this environment and to see blood, sweat, tears, and lives be lost, it's truly humbling to show the next generation that, this has been a sacrifice. Yeah. We can't take it for granted, or we can't take it and let it fall and be in vain, So
But we talked a lot about healing, and you said you begin inward, and talk a little bit about food as medicine and food as healing, and then the journey spiritually that you've been on.
Let thy food be thy medicine is what they say, and from the community I come from, we were born vegan, so off rip, we already knew that what you ate controlled your mood, your mind, and everything. And we want people to go inward because, when you look at the food source, the food system and how people are getting sick, it's from the soil. And if we don't get to the root of the problem, we can't really get to the solution. And that's why we want people to tap within and really start assessing their lifestyle practices. The CDC says that 1 million people die prematurely to lifestyle diseases. But 20 to 40% of those diseases can be prevented by making minor lifestyle changes. So we just want to show the community what do those lifestyle changes look like, and then how do you take that and then spiritually give yourself energy to really make those changes. And that's, again, we go right back down to Ridolph. Ridolph's giving us that hope. When you feel as if I change my diet, is it really going to help? I'm starting to lose all this weight. Ridolph's been doing it for 13 years, and people have been proven. People have, lost weight, gained muscle. People have had ailments, don't have ailments no more. People were fatigued, now they're full of vitality. You see, and it shows the transformation. And that's what makes Ridolph so powerful, because, to believe something and not see it is one thing, but to believe something and see it is a whole nother thing of manifestation. I say to my friends a lot of times, awareness is the greatest tool of all. You can be aware of a subject, but not be aware of the power you possess from understanding that subject. And we're trying to take it to another level. Farming is powerful. We know that. But how powerful is farming when you really know the essence, the spiritual essence of farming? He who feeds leads. And if you can't grow your own food, you're not considered to be sovereign. You're not considered to be self-sufficient. And that is another issue spiritually why we're going through a lot of things that we're going through. So we just need to start passing down these keys again. And Ridolph has held these keys above our heads and showed us that we're not going to just give them to you. We're not just going to give them to you. You're going to have to jump. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to climb. You're going to have to be like I said about those trees. I'm taking it spiritual now. You asked me to.
Yes.
It's like those trees. We have to take those trees through a season of adversity, so that when they grow, they can withstand any condition, any environment. And that's what Ridolph does. It's like, we have a hard history. Overcome it. You got to get right back to that land because you got kicked out that garden because you didn't do what was right. So go back to that garden, reconciliate, and then heal. And then once you heal, you'll begin to produce prosperity and abundance and blessings. And that's all Ridolph has done. So I'm not doing anything new here, but just, like I say, Dr. Greenhand and Ridolph's the information, the UAI is the demonstration, and we're trying to get a better creation. The reason why we're failing in our community spiritually, we've had the wrong information, we've had the wrong demonstration, and now we're seeing elimination. And we're consistently, and I mean consistently dying younger. Yes. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but if we don't make these 20 to 40% lifestyle changes, it's gonna get worse. So that's how we see it, and that's where we're at. And I believe that we're going to go to another level because the community hasn't seen anyone so young doing it. But I'm only young doing it because I listened to what the elders said. So it's a chain of command that we're following here. And we got to make sure that we keep these spiritual principles of the elders, or the youngins listening to the elders, and the elders counseling the youngins. That's how we're going to sustain this. And that's
You're sort of the conduit in a way. You're translating a lot.
Yes, yes. But in the beginning, it's funny because I came from the streets, so my dialect wasn't there yet. So I had Dr. Green, who was the mediator from Ridolph to what the youth were saying. So that's why me and Dr. Greenhand are so close. And then we travel the world talking to people about this. The youngsters and the elders coming together to be counseled. Like the elders don't know everything. We're not going to say that, but the youngsters are not just stupid and don't know nothing, So it's like we're coming together and figuring out that medium where we can just move forward, because spiritually in our community there's a disconnect, and that is why we're doing this rebellious things and we're crashing out and all these other things. But the elders got the answers right here. We just got to understand what they're trying to say from our perspective. And that's what I do. It's like, okay, you don't understand him. Let me take it what he's saying in the young words, blah, 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 blah. There you go. You got that. Now you understand it. And as you get older, it'll make more sense of why he said what he said.
Yeah. Do you still find that happening to you? Like there are things that you have a bad day or things aren't going so well?
Yes.
Do you come back to this and
all
of a sudden get something you didn't?
Yes, it's always renewing energy and constantly learning. I'm like a forever student,
Yeah, I sense
constantly
that
learning.
in you.
And then, when there's a day like today, we had a lot of challenges this morning.
Yeah.
We token it. It's a character building day.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep moving forward. What do we learn from this lesson? How do we move forward? We cannot, and this is the part of the healing. See, in our community, we count the losses more than we count the wins. We dwell so much on the negative, and we don't dwell on the positive, and we got to stop that. And that's what I do. It's like, okay, it's going bad. It's okay. Let's readjust. How do we make it better? And let's keep moving forward. And the farm itself teaches you that. You don't get these type of attributes from school. People don't just come in and teach you these things. That's why I tell people you have to come into the land and actually yield to the land so that the land can educate you about these principles or these attributes that regular society just doesn't teach you. And I'm reminded that when I find myself going in these whirlwinds, like, oh man, I'm stressed out or I'm depressed, like, well, what do you have the farm for? Go in that hoop house, sit down, meditate for a second, get yourself together, reassess the situation, go back outside and get to it. It's a charging station.
Yeah. The pod is so beautiful. So tell us what the pod stands for again.
The pod stands for the Prolific Oxygen Dome, and it's a therapeutic dome for our community.
Yes, and it just opened October 7th.
Yes.
And I saw a beautiful picture
Yes.
of, it was stormy that day, a little bit rainy,
Yes.
and out came
This beautiful double rainbow. Some people seen a triple rainbow, and it was right above the dome. And it was phenomenal. Like right after all the things that were going on, we just see it's still raining and sun's penetrating through the clouds, and then right behind the dome is just this huge rainbow directly above it, like it was like bouncing off the dome and just putting off the light. And it was just very spiritual and affirming. We can only just say it was Dame.
Yeah.
Because no, I kid you not, like I gave a speech
Yeah.
at the end of that ceremony, and I called on him, and we gave him moments of silence throughout the whole entire presentation. And it's like, that was his way of saying he was proud, because we realized that his life was not in vain that day. It was like, okay, it's getting passed on, and the next generation is going to take care of this land. And we're going to also take care of ourselves. So that what you did was a sacrifice in a sense. You died at the age of 50 to show us that we have to make these changes, because we cannot keep dying at the age of 50.
You cannot.
You know? And you're happy now because we're taking your life and we're showing people that we are making those necessary changes for our community so that that doesn't continuously happen, because no one should experience that type of loss because of lifestyle and environment. That's inhumane. And that's why we really emphasize food is medicine, because food attracts your mood. It changes your mood. And the longest conversation we're going to have is with food. So we come down, we sit down, we have meals, we talk about these things, and we call on our ancestors and we tell them we're thankful, because without them we wouldn't be here. So I looked at that moment as that, man. You know, Dame came down smiling, bright, and we knew on the other end of that rainbow was a pot of lucky gold for us.
And Damien, he was speaking a story. Do you mind, folks maybe from Cleveland have heard this before, but let's go back. Tell us how he did this. What does Ridol stand for? We call it Ridol, but...
Right, so Ridol started off as an exterminating company. Damien Fortier actually created it. His brother was one of the lead contractors. Dr. Greenhand was also one of the contractors. And they were going into Section 8 housing, eradicating rodents. And they were using harmful chemicals and things of that sort. And Dr. Greenhand was getting fed up. He was getting fed up. He's an environmentalist. He's a steward of the earth. And he like, look, first these people got to clean up their house. Then we come in and just spraying chemicals everywhere, and they're not cleaning up the house. So we have to start being proactive to this situation. Peppermint, cayenne pepper, let's use some holistic things to get rid of these rodents, because adding chemicals on top of dirt is not a good thing. So then Damien, wanted to start transitioning this company in a sense. And he asked Dr. Greenhand advice like, what should we do? And Dr. Greenhand said, what have you seen me do since you've met me? He's farming. We need to start a farm.
Right.
That's the root to the problem. So then they began seeking funding and things. They were looking at EC at first. That didn't go through. Then we found this dilapidated landfill right off of 82nd and Kinsman, way out in the back, where actually the fires were at. Ohio State Extension was given 12 acres of land. We were given 1.3, right where the fire happened. Kind of like a monkey wrench, in our mechanism. But when we tested the soil, it was so contaminated that we had to begin to instantly remediate it and start composting. And that's what we began doing. And over time, we built it up. We wanted to keep Ridol because it was sacred, but Ridol don't sound like no farm name, right?
No.
It's like Ridol. It sounds like you're getting rid of everything, don't it, right? So we created an acronym, Redeeming Integrity and Determination for All Mankind.
For all mankind.
For all mankind. That's what Ridol stands for. And we're a 501c3 outreach training facility. We educate the community. We educate the world.
You do educate the world.
We educate the world. I'm not even going to say the
Stories all
community.
over the world.
Yes, and now we're the biggest black-owned farm in the United States with 18 acres of owned land in predominantly the city. Yes. And we're producing food at an alarming rate, over 5,000 pounds of produce being harvested. We have a restaurant. We have over 60 to 80,000 tilapia fish being raised right now, composting facility. Damien Forche wanted to create, when he pivoted his exterminating company, Walt Disney of urban agriculture.
That's right.
And when I seen that and I heard that, I'm like, shoot, I want to be at Walt. I never even been to Walt Disney, right? So when I bought into it from my journey, it was like, wow. You know, Ridall really did something that I've never seen done. And I travel the world. I'm Ridall's ambassador. I've been to Belize. I've been to Israel. Yes. We're going to be going to Kenya. We also have a farm in Ghana. I've been all throughout the states to urban farms. I haven't seen not one do it like Ridall Green Partnership. So what I do with my company is I take what Ridall has done and I show them the application of it from a for-profit model. Go out, let's build these hoop houses. Go out, let's build these farms. Let's manage them. Let's sustain them. And let's make Damien proud, because his whole goal was to literally show us how to survive and sustain ourselves in these desolate environments. So my dad says all the time, if Ridall can do it here, in this environment, we can do it anywhere in the whole entire world. That's what we believe. So thank you to Damien.
Yeah. And Israel's one of the places you...
So I went to Israel in 2018. Actually, my brother Yahalalel, that was on the drum, he actually came to Ridall for the 5-month training course in 2018. And my father connected us because his father and my father were friends. He said, you need to be friends. And he comes to my house. He's like, whoa, hey, buddy, we got to go back home to Israel. That's where I'm from. And he actually is from there as well. So we went to a youth conference in 2018. And they loved us. He said, Israel has to see you all, you know, and what you're doing in the community. So we went to Israel 2018. We were blown away, like, wow. 2019, we went back because Damien actually ended up transitioning later on that year in November. And it hurt us. It hurt us really bad. But in 2019, we went back to study under a master agriculturalist, to study regenerative agriculture and to study healthier lifestyle practices. And when we came back, we began managing Ridall farms, took our annual harvest, we doubled it, and then from there, it's been history.
Well, let me ask you this question. Everywhere we go, we see people are still struggling a bit, suffering from loneliness, isolation, just being a bit unmoored. You've been through things yourself. If somebody's out there, where would you tell them to start? If they're hitting that moment where things aren't going so well?
So what I would tell a person experiencing that, I would tell them to get connected to a garden. You know, I've done a lot of research, and gardening is very therapeutic. There's a bacteria found in the soil called Microbacterium vaccae that when you put your hands in the soil, it releases into the air, airborne molecules, and it goes through your olfactory system and releases something in your brain called serotonin, which is an antidepressant. They've linked gardening to being an antidepressant. So I would say if you're experiencing something, go outside, go to a garden and connect, put your hands in the soil, and then just experience it for a little bit. I would also tell someone to, of course, seek a counselor or an advisor, right? That's just what you normally would say. But find some holistic practitioner, right? Someone that can teach you about the benefits of yoga and meditation, sound therapy, aromatherapy. I would emphasize aromatherapy. Go to a garden store and buy lemon verbena. Buy a mint plant. Put it in your house. Pull on that plant every time you feel stressed. Rub your hands on the plant and smell it. Every time you feel stressed, let that be your trigger to reclaim yourself and put yourself back to a natural state. And then also stay connected to a garden, because your hands need to be in soil. When your hands are in soil, you're literally interacting with the life, and that is giving you life. It's just that simple.
Is there one memory you have from here, of all the programs you've done, of all the things that just stays with you?
I got one, right? It hit me right away when you asked. There was a tour we had. It was a child that came, and we were giving him a tour about the farm and explaining it. And you know what he said to me? He said in front of everybody, he was like, you know, I come from a family where like people die really, really young. He said, my dad is wheelchair bound. He was shot and he's stuck in a wheelchair. He said, from hearing y'all speak and the things that y'all doing, he said, I could literally be the first person in my family to not go down that path. He was snapping it's like he was rapping, he just snapping, talking like, but he was like trying to get it out. And I'm like, wow, bro. You never met you, for you to say that, that's huge impact. Then we had a training program, Fresh Low, and we had these youth come to the farm that were being paid to be at the farm and learn. And then there was a testimony, his name was Day Day. And his story of what we done for him was so inspiring, where he was like, I don't gotta be in the streets no more. You know, I need to be around more positive. Y'all taught me how to be sustainable, this, that, and the third. And he was just saying like, he can help his mama out now more. He's being more disciplined. It just spent like 2-3 weeks with this kid, you know? And it was just that much impact from him just seeing someone that looked like him at such a close age that made it like, I can do this right now. I don't have to wait. And that's been my 2 favorite memories, you know, here. And it was like, to see that instant impact, and that's what like gives me the motivation to keep going. Some days I'm out here, I'm just in the farm, tilling to the land, you know, I'm doing my thing, and it's like, you know, what am I doing this for? Just sometimes it just crosses your mind.
That's right.
But then those stories, or a tour comes and then someone's just all energized and invigorated, you're like, this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it to inspire the community to continuously make the change, because if I'm not out here doing it, social media, the news, or whatever outlet is going to be projecting something else, and that's what we're going to believe is our reality.
Yeah.
So I have to consistently fight the stigmas that we have to face in our community. What does a young black man with locks look like? What does a young black man in a community that's full of crime and violence do? We heal, we transform, we inspire. We don't destroy, we don't make raps, we don't degrade our women, we don't sell drugs. No, we don't do any of that. That's what y'all told us we did. But what we do here at Ridall, we transform environments and we save lives.
You save lives.
Yes. By letting food be thy medicine. Because that is the bridge to it all. And that's the longest conversation we're going to have is with food.
Thank you
Thank you so much for having me.
for helping heal my life by being here.
Thank you.